YouTube, what's good? YouTube, with your boy Johnny Finesse. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute, but we back with another Jimmy Highroller video. I was wrong again.
Of sports, anything can happen. I remember when this shot went in and thinking in that moment,
that was crazy. And if you know, fun fact, Chris Smooth was at that game. Y'all fuck with Chris Smooth, drop that like button, and I know y'all watched.
Just witnessed history. Or when this shot had the entire basketball world standing still.
That was crazy too. That was crazy. That was crazy.
For what felt like an eternity, before falling in and causing a chain reaction of events that would change the course of the NBA. Or the exact moment we all knew a 3-1 comeback in the finals was brewing, when we knew something big was gonna happen and we would all be there to witness it. But despite all the seemingly impossible feats that we've seen take place, of all the improbable comebacks and unlikely stories,
I'm back. 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 I'm back.
There is still one endeavor throughout NBA history that has yet to be accomplished. The 0-3 comeback, a deficit that 151 different teams have found themselves in, and none of them managed to pull off, including the team that I bet on.
The Heat are going to the NBA Finals.
What do you think about this, though? What do you think about this? I think Tatum baited. Boy, ankle hurt. He be talking about Kobe, big bro, this, that, third. Kobe dislocated his shoulder, put that bitch back in, and was cooking. You know what I'm saying? You had a chance to make real life history. Even if you won that game and didn't win the finals, you would have made history. You would have made history. Like, really think you would have made history. You would have been the only team to do that. Even if you lost in the finals, you would have been out of 151 teams that were made. You would have been the only team. That would have been impressive. Even if that team was the Heat, but the Heat is nice.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. My brothers, summer is finally here, and events are happening. Oh, Jimmy, I've left a link to download.
Even though they know how to play, but y'all see game 2 though.
After falling to 0-3 in the Eastern Conference Finals against Miami, the Boston Celtics were given a 12.5% chance of winning the series. Odds that seemed unrealistically high considering no team has ever pulled off the dreaded 0-3 comeback. But after rallying together and rattling off 3 of the most important wins of their season, the Celtics found themselves with an opportunity to make history.
I wish I could put my camera somewhere else. But there's really no place for me to put. I really gotta clean my desk too.
Coming off of one of the most improbable last-second buzzer beaters to win Game 6, they had all the momentum. The Heat were deflated. Everything was in Boston's favor. My playoff prediction had somehow been resurrected. Hope was still alive. And so what did the Celtics?
Messed up too. I ain't gonna put it all on Tatum. Jalen Brown messed up too. He messed up too. This is your time where you supposed to show that you're just as important as Tatum. You know what I'm saying? And you failed.
You
nice.
They put together one of the most piss-poor Game 7 performances I've ever seen in my life. If you never hear me utter Jalen Brown's name on the
all they did to Jalen Brown was force him to go left. They forced you to go left. Like, that's it. They forced
this channel again. Do not wonder why. Here's an idea. Learn how to dribble a basketball and stop shooting threes. And I would give Jason Tatum a pass for his Game 7 performance since he was playing on a bum ankle. If he didn't shoot 2 for 18 from 3 in his last 3 games.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
11% from 3 in consecutive playoff elimination games. Brother, hit a shot. And don't even get me started on Caleb first-team All-NBA Martin. God forbid he just plays like a normal player against the team that I bet on. No, he has to morph into a human.
Yo, have y'all been betting, bro? Every time I've been betting, people be so whack. Like, all I needed was Caldwell Pope to hit 3 threes in Game 1, and he couldn't do it. He was just throwing up anything. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. It was crazy.
Flamethrower for 7 games and rip the heart.
Same as last night, too. Same as last night. Murray's supposed to hit 20 with some threes. You know what I'm saying? That was my bet. He got 18. Imagine if he hit that 3 at the end. Niggas will be up.
Hearts out of whatever Boston fans are left after this monstrosity. Have y'all seen Caleb's splits from the Eastern Conference Finals? 19 points per game, 60% from the field, and 49% from 3. That's 74% true shooting percentage for the series. The man makes $6 million a year and outplayed Mr. $100 million contract second team All-NBA Jalen Dribble Off My Foot Brown. I am sick to my stomach, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. The Miami Heat are tough. They've got a great team with a bunch of guys ready and willing to do whatever it takes to win. There's no ego, there's no drama, it's just great basketball. A few weeks ago, I said that as sports fans, we love the underdog story, despite the fact that it very rarely happens. Well, it just did. Because the Miami Heat are just the second 8 seed in NBA history.
See, I'm not gonna lie though. Every series, they're not lying. Every series always better for the Heat to lose.
To make it to the NBA Finals. The last team to pull this off were the New York Knicks in the lockout season of 1999. But what the Heat have done this postseason has actually never been done before. Because the worst regular season team to ever make the finals in the modern NBA were the 1981 Houston Rockets, who somehow made the finals despite having a losing record in the regular season. But this year's Heat team is the first team since the 1959 Minneapolis Lakers to make the finals while carrying a negative point differential throughout the regular season, which means the Heat were essentially a below average team that somehow made it to the NBA Finals. So how does a team with absolutely no business even leaving a mark on the postseason manage to make it to the final stage just 4 wins away from an NBA?
They lock up. They make adjustments after every game. You feel me? They make adjustments after every single game. Like, you've seen it in game 2. They made adjustments. They said, Jokic could do everything. We're going to stop him from doing assists. Let him score. And we're going to lock everybody else up. Because everybody else is huff without Jokic. Let's keep it a buck. Like, MPJ can't get no buckets without Jokic. Because MPJ's a catch and shoot person. Freaking Murray's, he's hard to, like, he can't really get on his rhythm, in a rhythm, unless he's like, you know what I'm saying?
A title.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to take a moment to touch on a subject that I don't think gets talked about enough. The alpha. You know how in modern NBA discourse, whenever anyone brings up Mamba mentality, they're laughed at and dismissed like whatever they're referring to doesn't actually exist, or that it's even a misconception of some sort. To this day, especially older fans of the game will talk about how the greatest players of all time had the, don't make me say it, killer mentality. Over the years, this was a critical talking point among NBA fans on why some players found success in defining moments while others continued to fall short. This narrative in particular began to lose its credibility sometime over the last half-decade or so, as any player who didn't win a title was labeled as soft or lacking the killer mentality, despite there being about a million other factors that were failed to be.
I wouldn't say, in my eyes, I never really thought about that shit except Tatum. He be preaching about Kobe all the time. You know what I'm saying? I thought Kobe was your mentor. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I don't really be seeing that shit.
Be considered. But we just saw firsthand what grit and determination and integrity and this elusive killer mentality that we've been dismissive of for years can do for a player and a team. Is Jimmy Butler more talented than Jason Tatum? No. And it's not particularly close. Is Caleb Martin nearly as talented as Jaylen Brown? Well, after this last series, I'd sure as hell say so. But really, no. Jalen is the far more talented player. Should Gabe Vincent and Max Strus be starting throughout an entire conference finals series? Well, if talent was the deciding factor, then no. But it's not. When you've got a leader who is willing to do whatever it takes to win and makes no excuses, rises to the occasion, and has the guts, no, the audacity to take on any challenge that stands in front of him. That mindset becomes contagious. Slowly, everyone on your team begins to believe, even if it's irrational, that they too are capable of anything. One of the reasons why I have Kobe Bryant ranked so high among my all-time greatest players, among other reasons, was his attitude towards the game. His fearless approach to whatever or whoever stood in his way was at times a fault, sure, but it was always daring and unashamed. Kobe missed a lot of shots, but one thing he never did was be afraid to take them. Not even for a moment in his entire career did he ever doubt himself. Kobe, similar to Michael Jordan and what we're seeing in Jimmy Butler, was the alpha of all alphas. If they were on your team, winning was not guaranteed, but one thing that was certain was that if they're going down swinging. What I saw from the Celtics, and even on a larger scale throughout the league, is almost some sort of mass extinction of the killer mentality. We always talk about talent.
The thing about the Celtics, they don't have a closer. Sometimes they had the
potential and skill sets, who can get a bucket. But what about the guy who refuses to lose? How many of those guys exist in today's NBA? Sure, Jason Tatum is talented, but is he truly willing to go to hell and back to win? The idea of a player who possesses an unshakable will to win at all costs, a killer mentality, is not just some sort of myth built up on nostalgia or personal bias or narrative. It is a real, tangible thing. It's funny because Jimmy Butler isn't nearly the best player in the NBA, and yet we can't help but to see shades of Michael Jordan in him when he's on the court. It's not because he's an era-defining talent. It's not because he can defy gravity or inspire an entire generation. It's because he's a winner, a leader, the bedrock of what every championship team needs. He backs up every word that comes out of his
in the comment section down below, do you like when the names are at the top or at the bottom?
Mouth. He doesn't make excuses. He leads by example, and he will do anything to win. And this isn't just some reactionary take on the outcome of these games. Even if the Celtics won this series against the Heat, I still think the vastly talented duo of Tatum and Brown, like many other players, would have accomplished it off of sheer talent and possibly execution. But what happens when the shots stop falling? What happens when the defense figures you out and your bag isn't enough? What happens when it gets quiet and everyone's looking at you, waiting for an answer? Whenever a player or a team wins, the reaction is always the same. Excitement, joy, relief. But you might find out a lot more by paying attention to how a player reacts when they lose. You can't fake this. Are they genuinely upset? Are they hell-bent on getting better, being the best? Sure, there's not a single player who takes joy in losing, but what about the player who is tormented?
But no disrespect though, they deadass almost won. Because what if Tatum didn't get his ankle hurt? Because they went up, you know what I'm saying? That's 3 straight games. They won 3 straight games on them. Right back. You know what I'm saying? They won 3 straight games right back at them. So it's like, but at the same time, it's like, nigga, that killer mentality, your ankle, you gotta go crazy.
By loss. If a player lacks this quality,
I can say this, but Game 7, literally a series ago, that man dropped 51 points. He dropped 51 points. So you can't say, oh, he's an alpha. He's not an alpha. This, that, and the third. He got an ankle. Nah, you're right.
I'm not sure if talent will simply fill the gap. I don't know. There's just something about a player who cannot accept losing. You know it when you see it. And you sure as
I don't know how bad the ankle it was, but at the same time, it's like, if you was able to get on the court and play, you gotta go crazy.
Tell know it when you don't. Either that, or I'm just mad that the team that I bet on fell short of a championship for the 2nd season in a row. I hate the Celtics.
I hate them too, man. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button. Put in the comment sections down below if I should live stream. I've been live streaming. I used to live stream, but if I do, tell me if y'all want it. Comment section down below.